Hey everybody, Matt Cribbs here, and listening to a guy with a really loud car driving past. And not a loud car in a good way. A loud car as in, I really need to fix my muffler kind of way. How you doing? Welcome to another Wednesday morning drive. Thank you so much for joining me again. You guys are awesome. Love all the support. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave a like, thumbs up. Let me know what you'd like to hear about. All you are awesome. It's amazing. So, speaking of amazing, Christmas is over. Well, that's not amazing. Christmas was amazing. Christmas being over, not so amazing. It is what it is. Number one, I did not get either a GoPro or a new mount for my phone. So you guys are still shoved over there in the corner. Sorry about that. I guess I'll be looking at getting one of those myself. It's okay. It's the way it goes. Everything, it's not about the presents. The best presents I had was that Grandma McRibs and Grandpa McRibs and Brother McRibs were all in the, that's not their names. I'm the only McRibs, but it's a relation to me. They were all in the house and we had a great time. It was so good catching up with the family and just spending time together, because once you grow up and move out, you don't get to do that anymore. So really cool that happened. Really, really enjoyed it. And oh my goodness, the children McRibs, the McRib spawns, cleaned up. I said it's not about the stuff, but if it was about the stuff, they win. Because it was our house was full. It was great. They were really excited and lots of good stuff. So good times, good stuff, good memories, and hey. But that's over now. And New Year's is coming. Well, yeah, it's coming. It'll be fun. New Year's is just a more chill thing, kind of put a capstone on the holidays. It'll be nice, not going out, not spending any time. I have never, if you pay attention, I live right near New York City, and I work in New York City, and I've been doing this for years and years and years and years, and I have never once felt the desire or the need to go to Times Square on New Year's Eve, and people occasionally, if they're from out of town, ask me why not. If they're from town, they kind of figure it out before too long, or they have a friend who did it. And it's a horrible, horrible experience. It's a bad idea. It looks great on TV, but it's just a nightmare. And this year is going to be worse. They've been talking about it on the radio on my other days to work. And speaking of work, yes, I work the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's not the best thing in the world, but as you know, I got a project I'm working on, and this year especially really getting stuff done. But anyway, Times Square on New Year's Eve. So usually it's just insanely crowded. But this year, with all the terror stuff going on, the security guys have decided to go. They've gotten carte blanche to do basically everything they want. And security is like a trade-off between, in the real world and in the digital world, security is always a trade-off between security and convenience. And you can never, ever be 100% secure. There's no such thing as 100% safe. It just doesn't happen. Accidents can happen. Things can always happen that are bad. And so you're never 100% safe. Rule number one. Number two is that security measures often make it harder to do things. So you have to make a balance between, so really, really safe would be living inside a safe room with food pre-screened and delivered or stockpiled, and thick walls and no connection to the outside. But, that'd be mighty inconvenient to actually living a life and getting anything done. So that's the extreme view, but you have to make your trade-offs in order to do anything. So this year, because of all the terror, we're a bit more on the security side instead of the convenience side. So in order to get to Times Square this year, from what they've been saying on the radio, you have to go through a screening, I believe with metal detectors, they said. outside of the Times Square area, just, as you approach the area. And then, if you don't know, if you've never been in there, it's not like you can just go to Times Square and hang out and go wherever you want. It hasn't been that way for, I don't know if it was ever. I'm sure it was that way back in the day. But for the longest time, you get assigned a pen. And you basically have to live in your pen like cattle waiting for the ball to drop. And you're in the pen. So not only are they having metal detectors and bag screening and stuff outside to enter the general area, once you get into your assigned pen, you are subjected to handheld metal detectors, bomb-sniffing dog screening, and portable radiation detectors for nuclear threats. Because dirty bombs would really suck, especially in a crowded area. Don't even think about that. Horrible. But yeah, so it's going to be even less fun than it normally is. The only saving grace, and normally, well, not normally, in the past, before we've messed up our climate with carbon stuff, in the past, it was usually pretty cold on New Year's Eve. Lately, not so much the case. This year, don't think it's going to be the case. But so not only would you be shoved in a pen, and you can't get out to go to the bathroom. Also, no alcohol, probably a good idea. And no bathrooms. So you are stuck in a pen, freezing, probably having to pee with no alcohol. And yeah, but you get to see the ball way up there, because it's still pretty far away and high. So yeah, and this year screened out the wazoo. It'll be safe. It'll be cool to look at on TV, I guess. But I pity those people that are there. But at least they won't be freezing their butts off this year. So anyway, that's I don't know why I got on that topic, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, this stuff is crazy. Why are they doing that? Well, you know why they're doing that. But wow. Anyway, so that's that. Yeah, I hope you guys all had great holidays. Hope you're doing something cool for New Year's, cooler than staying in Times Square. But I did, let's see, what can we talk about today? I have the list of things that people have mentioned and we've talked about. And the one I can, I guess, get a little started on. I mentioned it before about, my views of the Minecraft state of the code, or Minecraft as an application, not state of the code, because I'm not really up to date on everything that's been being done, and things have changed a lot. But more what I was thinking about when I said that was, Minecraft as the software phenomenon that started. And, what are my qualifications to talk about this? Because I think my opinion is a little bit, well, maybe not different from everyone's, but, I have a perspective on it, and I'm just waiting to see if I can turn here, because the light is red, but for some reason, no one was going. And I got cars, and now I got a person turning. Wow. That guy back there used his turn signal. No one here uses their turn signals. It's crazy. So, state or Minecraft as a game. So one I've played since early on. I actually looked it up one day and I forget. I can put it maybe down in the description when I purchased it. But I was like, whoa, that was a long time ago. So I've been watching this develop the whole time and played it really early. Excuse me. Hot coffee. Number 2. I'm a developer, and I'm specifically a Java developer. And I've looked into the Minecraft code base. I've never published a mod, although I've been thinking about it. But I've kind of, made around and made like the hello world of mods just to, know more, well, for fun and to see what it's like. So Minecraft at its heart was, when it came out, horrible. Absolutely horrible. Horribly written, and Notch, for all the credit he gets, either, and I don't know the guy personally, I haven't talked, and either is really not a very good coder, or, and I actually believe from just interviews and stuff he's given, it's some of both, not the world's best coder, or just was slapping stuff together without any plan to see if it stuck. And that was kind of, if you listen to the way it worked or how it came about, part of how it came out. Sorry, we're stopped somewhere where we don't normally stop, but there's a bus in front of me, so I couldn't see why. That's why I'm craning my head. So, yeah, combination of just putting stuff together and, not really following good coding practices ended up with Minecraft, when it first came out, and for a long time, really, really being written badly. Things like the server and the local, and a lot of these things, all credit to the team. They knew about them, and even Notch, when he wrote them, I read, he knew about these were bad when he was doing it, and they've been fixed. But, the single player and the multiplayer were really two different games, and so bugs were crazy. You'd get one in one, but not in the other. It was poor design choice to build it that way to begin with. Like, it's just like, I have to build the same thing, but it works in two different modes, so let's just build it twice instead of just building it once and have it operate in two different modes, which would be a better way to do it. Assumptions were made on how to store data with values on the IDs that proved to be super limiting in the future. There were, just amazing amounts of bugs and things that weren't done or thought well, and just it was a mess. The code was frankly a mess, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And number two, it was not really even a game to start with. There was no, and I would argue that still it's not a traditional story game. It's a tremendous sandbox game, but it has no story. It has no plot. It has no, advancement elements. And yes, you have things like been added, like the end and adventure and stuff, but really, let's face it, they're just bolted on and they're weak. They're not very good. And they just kind of exist. But what most people do is just survival and build stuff, or creative and build stuff. And that's where the fun has been. So, and that's kind of the secret. So you have this poorly written game with bad or undeveloped gameplay. That's a quote, air quotes. You can hate me for that. Gameplay elements. This thing's going to be a disaster. No one's going to want to play this. It's going to be a nightmare. So what happened? Why did it take off like it did? What is there? And that's because despite all of its flaws, and there were many, many flaws, more probably flaws than good parts, despite all of that, it didn't matter, because there was this core gem of that open world brick-breaking building, not even the brick-breaking and open world so much, but just the pure creativity. And it's been called it several times, but digital Legos. That core of being able to build things out of components, blocks that were the right size. Big enough to be built, big enough that you could build big things without having to do way too much work, but small enough that you could still get a little bit of detail in them. That core idea, that gameplay, was something people wanted. And that idea is the idea that took off. That is what Minecraft is at its heart. That is the brilliance behind it. And the fact was, it's not the only one that was like that. At the time, and even before, there were other games that did the same thing. Probably better. Probably with less bugs. Probably with other gameplay options that were in there. There definitely are now, but they're not as popular. Why? I don't think it's because Minecraft was, already popular. Why did it hit popular? And that's because it was out there. It wasn't, he didn't wait for it to be done. He didn't, polish it. He didn't finish it. He just put it out there. And even with all the bugs, all the bad code, all the flaws, getting that idea out there was, at that time, the right time, made all the difference in the world. And like, good, perfect is the enemy of done. Sometimes, and I think Minecraft is the perfect example, sometimes it doesn't matter how good something actually is, or how done something actually is. If there is that spark of genius, that one core nugget of gold, and it's out there at the right time, it can make all the difference in the world. So if you're ever working on a project, if you're ever, for school, for creative, for anything, and you're ever, trying to finish it or trying to polish it or trying to get it perfect, just stop and think, is there enough to ship? Just get it out there, as bad, as flawed as it is. If it's good, if it has that nugget of goodness, that core idea that shines through, people will see it and you'll get the time to finish it. But if you wait and wait and wait until you're happy with it or it's polished, someone else will come along and do the same idea and get it out there before you. And guess what? Then your idea, you might as well not have done anything, because you're not going to... No, that's not true. That's not true. Even doing anything is good, but you'll have missed the chance. So, I don't know. That's my little thing on Minecraft, is that it was so... And I've gotten some crap for it before. Like, my position is Minecraft was great despite the fact that it sucked. But now you know why I say that, because it had that core idea and it was out. So anyway, that's pretty much what I was going to say about that. Probably not what people thought when I said say the Minecraft code, and I can dig more into examples. I would just have to spend the time to do that and look into the historical code base, show, and I've been thinking about doing a series. I've actually been thinking about a couple series. I have some that are just pure gameplay series. Those are fine. And I think there's some that are going to be really excited about once I can actually get the time to get back on my computer. I know, guys, sorry. But another one is a more programming-centric series, and it's tough because programming is hard, but maybe just an intro to programming tutorial. There's other ones of those out there, but they're not with me. So, I could do a Hello World walking through, and put that out there. If there's interest, I don't know. Let me know. We can work on a project together. Maybe we can work on a mod together or something. I don't know. And the other one was I play a lot of board games. Played a lot of those over the holidays with the family in town. But a board game series. Couple roadblocks of that. One, Will Wheaton with Tabletop. Professional production quality, not professional production quality. That's going to be hard to beat. Number two, convincing others to be on camera. Probably tough. So, yeah, there's that. But it's an idea. Leave me tons of likes and thumbs up, and maybe we can convince Mrs. McCribbs to have her camera debut. Maybe. So, anyway, have a great day, everyone. Happy New Year. I will see you next time in 2016. 2015 was awesome. Let's make 2016 even better. Until then, bye.